Welcome to the Nitpicking Nerd's Guide to Land Destruction.
In this video, we're delving into what makes a land destruction spell playable in Commander.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. You can go to the Discord, talk to us there. You can get Patreon, upgrade the Discord. We're doing a giveaway. Walking Dead on Twitter. All you got to do to enter is follow us.
Yep. Links all in the description below for any of that, for the Twitter, for the Discord, for the Patreon. It's all in the description. So what are we doing today?
Okay, well, we are doing a deep dive into land destruction. We'll talk about what that is later, but we're going to give a bunch of cards we like for it, a bunch of traps, talk about what qualities we look for in a magic card that destroys lands.
Yes. And we're not talking about mass land destruction today. Usually most mass land destruction that you use will be good as long as you're taking advantage of it correctly. We're talking about targeted removal today. So let's define it. What is targeted land destruction?
Well, and in this video, for these purposes, it is a card that can remove or stop an ability of one or more lands, but not all lands, because that would qualify it as mass land destruction.
Exactly. So we're counting, I just want to give an example of something that can stop the abilities of lands, and that would be spreading seas.
Yes.
It counts under land destruction here because you're basically getting rid of the land per se. It's not going to do what it is there to do.
Change it to, you can say land removal, but land destruction is what everybody kind of lumps us all under. So land removal and some, like, the land's not going to do anything more than a basic after we're done with it. What decks want land destruction?
All decks. All decks want at least one or two ways to deal with a problematic land that may be on the battlefield.
Sometimes more. So if you're wondering why we're always pooping on acidic slime and when we don't ever offer any alternatives, this is a video we're going to link you to because we got a lot of examples.
Yeah, we have a lot of examples, a lot of alternatives to acidic slime.
And every deck wants to know, hey, what should I play, if anything?
Yeah. So we have expectations and standards. What are we looking for in our land destruction here? Well, first thing can be done at instant speed. Super important. You don't want to have any type of removal that's going to be like a sorcery. If you're removing a land at sorcery speed, it is going to be hurting you a lot more than if you're getting it at instant speed.
Yep, that's just true of everything. Instants are just so much better than sorcery, so obviously if we can blow up a land, it's just better to do it at instant speed. Mm-hmm. It needs to take effect right away. For example, if you have a strip mine and an exact replica of strip mine that enters tapped, half the time you're going to get boned because, well, first of all, it's a land, and so then you can't make mana right away, but you can't use it right away. If there's a crazy land that needs to die, and your thing makes you wait a whole turn, way less effective than something that just says, okay, blow it up.
I think there are actually 0 playable cards that don't get the effect right away for land destruction. I couldn't find any, and I couldn't think of any, even when trying to actively find them, to find one that I would want to play. If it doesn't do it right away, you might want to think about finding other land destruction.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this was a criteria, and Joe's like, what cards even do that? I'm like, oh, all these bad ones that we'll never play.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we have the card has other functions other than just destroying a land. We want versatility. We mentioned Strip Mine. It's going to be a card that gets mentioned a lot in this video because it is the best way to do this. It's a land. It is a land. You can play it in your land slot. It makes colorless mana still. It's still functionally a land.
80% of the time. 80% of the time, it's just tapping for mana.
Yeah, exactly. And it needs to have, this is the last one. This is one of the most important. Low opportunity cost. This cannot be a sorcery that says destroy target land. Now, that's all that spell does.
It can't be an instant that just says destroy target land.
Exactly.
If it's like a 4 mana instant, it's like, okay, you're giving up a lot by putting that in your deck.
Exactly. So a good example is Sinkhole. It's a 2 mana sorcery. It's unplayable.
Right. But it's like one of the most efficient ways to actually destroy land. It's like banned and stuff. But no, don't do that.
No, yeah, exactly. Sinkhole is not what we want. We need the card to do something else. It can't be taking up a whole card slot in our deck.
We have 3 opponents. We cannot be farting around one-for-oneing things that won't even necessarily affect the game a ton. Because there's some lands that have crazy impacts. There's your Nykthos, your Gaia's Cradle, your Urborgs, your flipped Ixalan lands. There's all those running around. But if you're blowing up like a Triome, you are going to lose the game real quick.
There are definitely lands worth destroying and worth one-for-oneing. Don't get me wrong. You definitely want to do that in a lot of cases. But when you can avoid it, you really want to avoid it. And that's why having these cards be versatile is so important.
All right, so the priority list of all the stuff we just mentioned. First, foremost, the best way to fit it in almost for free, land slot. We have, that we'll talk about. I was going to list them off, but we're about to do that later. So bunch of lands that just 1 or 2 slots in your deck. If you're a 1-color deck, you can play even more of them and have to worry about lands less.
Next is versatility, says the ability to hit more than one permanent type. You want to hit as many permanent types as you can. The ones that say any permanent or the best.
Right, because they're already great. They're super versatile. They do whatever you want. And land is, all right, fail case. I'm really getting beat down by this land. I'm in trouble. Take it out.
Exactly.
And then ETBs, because they're abusable. You can just keep doing it over and over. If something enters and blows up a land, all right. Really, none of that is, I don't think, great. But if there was like a 2-mana creature that did that, that'd be insane. The ones that do that, like Acidic Slime, are like way too expensive.
I agree completely. All right, moving on. We're going to go into our favorites.
Oh, there's so many. First, Strip Mine. It's the gold standard. It's literally just 1-for-1s with any land. And then there's a lot of, we haven't even mentioned this, but lands can also be brought back with Life from the Loam, Return a Permanent. All the white and green cards bring back lands super easy.
I mean, there's also, you can replay lands from your graveyard, such as Crucible Worlds and the little snake dude I can't think of the name of.
Raminap Excavator.
Yes, Raminap Excavator. So Strip Mine, the gold standard. Actually, almost another include in any 3 or less color deck, I want to play this every single time.
Yeah, Wasteland, it's really similar. If you have one or the other, you're really not going to notice because the only benefit that Strip Mine has is blowing up basics over Wasteland. That's the only thing it does different. However, if you're going to play multiple lands in turn, you will notice missing Strip Mine when you can start using it as a win condition. That's when you want Strip Mine and Wasteland probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing about Strip Mine versus Wasteland and EDH is you can get Strip Mines cheaper than Wastelands, and they're the better card.
Yeah, Strip Mine's like $14, Wasteland's like 26, but if you want to do expeditions, Strip Mine's 21 and Wasteland's like 25.
Yeah, exactly. So just get those, get the Strip Mines first, then get the Wasteland if you need the second version.
Yeah, and now a budget, Ghost Quarter, it replaces the land, so you don't get the added bonus of slowing them down, but if for 0 mana, really, I guess 1 mana, and a cost of a land, you shut off all the abilities of a land. It basically turns it into a basic.
Yeah, exactly. This card is perfectly good. There's nothing wrong with it. Perfect budget option. Another budget option, Tectonic Edge. You can only activate it if they control 4 or more lands, but you pay 1, tap a destroy target non-basic. Basically, this is budget Wasteland.
It's literally Ghost Quarter is the budget Strip Mine, Tectonic Edge is the budget Wasteland.
Yeah, they don't get a replacement on Tectonic Edge, so that's important, but you do have to put a mana into it.
Right. Dust Bowl is another land. I think it's the last one we have for now. Pay 3, sacrifice a land, destroy a non-basic land.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty simple, actually.
It's just a little engine. It's kind of slow, but you get to do it multiple times. You know if you want it. If you're trying to blow up more lands and you don't need you want more than the first 4, go for Dust Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Dust Bowl's cool. I haven't tried it in any decks. I don't have any, and I've really never seen it in person, to be honest. I don't know why. I know the card's good.
It's totally fine. All right, now we get to like actual spells. Cards that you can say, I want this. It'll destroy lands if I need to.
Yeah, the first 2 are the same card, just color shifted. Beast Within, Generous Gift, they hit any type of permanent and turn it into a 3/3.
Mostly, you're not trying to hit lands, but they have the fail case of hitting a land.
Yeah, I don't know. Fail safe, fail case.
Fail safe? A fail safe is like you can have they both work.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, whatever. Beast Within, totally awesome. Generous Gift, totally awesome. We'll tell you, these are some of the best removal spells in all of EDH. These are like some of the first, in any green and white deck, these are like my auto includes. I don't ever.
Oh, really?
Play them.
I don't play them that often. Actually, I play them less than you.
I play them almost in every deck. I never feel bad when I draw it. I haven't had the feel, like, there's a lot of cards sometimes you get, even if it's one of the best cards, you get that feel bad. I just haven't had the feel bad with it.
Well, the feel bad is you answer something and you pay 3 mana for it. I've had that, but I've had that feel bad, but because sometimes the most efficient answer is like Nature's Claim, just 1 mana to answer it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is this hits anything, like whatever is troubling you.
I know, but sometimes if it's like a medium target, you're like, oh, 3 mana for that. Chaos Warp, we'll lump that in with those. I'll play it in any red deck that doesn't pair with a color that's really good at removal. So like non-black red decks.
Yeah, Chaos Warp, I agree with that. Chaos Warp I'm not as high on because it can backfire so hard.
It can. It basically just can't. I mean, like 1 in 70 chance.
If I can play, I want to play Generous Gift. I want to play Beast Within way over those because they're only getting a 3/3. There's not. Maybe it's a 1 in like 10 chance, but if 1 in 10 times Chaos Warp backfires, that feels really bad.
Yeah, but how many times? 1 in 10. I mean, if it's a better thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, how many times do you want it to not go to the graveyard though? What if they can get it back?
Yeah, there are times it's better, but I am higher on the other 2.
All right, this is a card I'm high on, and I play in one deck. Fulminator Mage, 1 Rakdos Hybrid for a 2/2. It's a creature. Sacrifice it, destroy a non-basic land. This might look like it's a stone right. But the only thing that bumps it up is it's a creature.
The first thing, I want to know is right now, what's super important about this card, you need synergies. Do not throw Fulminator in any deck. If you have like creature dies triggers, if you have a way to return this, abuse it, then that's when you want this card. This is the only card, really, not the only card. This is one of the few cards where it's like, this is destroy target land. And it's actually good. Like, you're not getting anything else back from it. It's just killing a land. So you have to be able to take advantage of the fact that this is a creature.
Yes, it's instant speed. You can use it right away. It attacks and blocks. It can be brought back more easily than Strip Mine. And there's like some political value depending on how you play it. So that all that stuff wrapped up, if you want that, Fulminator Mage is pretty good. Next is a card that is just, I think it's like EDH staple in like a couple years from now. It'll just be everywhere. Cleansing Wildfire. It's 1 in a red. Sorcery. Destroy target land. Its controller searches for a basic, puts it into play tapped, and then you draw a card.
Yes, the important part, and these ones, the next 3 actually, they're all super important to mention right now. They do only get lands, but they draw a card. They all replace themselves. We already said this. You need versatility, the low opportunity cost. This isn't costing you a card. You're spending a card, getting rid of something you want to get rid of, and on top of that, getting your card back immediately.
And this isn't a 6-mana stupid creature. This is a 2-mana sorcery, the only sorcery. And it's just so cheap that it doesn't, like, it mitigates the fact that it's a sorcery. It replaces itself, and it's super, like, it's trivial to play this.
Yeah, exactly. We said we don't really want too much sorcery speed. This is one, because it's so efficient and because the opportunity cost is so low on this card, it just breaks a lot of our rules. And it's interesting because opportunity cost being so high, just like, okay, well, we can get rid of the other. We can actually ignore the other rules here.
Yeah, if Sinkhole drew a card, I'd play Sinkhole.
Yeah,
that changes the entire layout of the card. And then we'll lump the next 2 together. Spreading Seas, Lithoform, Blight, they both enchant lands, and they basically remove all the abilities from the lands. Then they draw a card when they enter.
Spreading Seas makes it an island, whereas Lithoform Blight removes all types, and it makes it tap for colorless or tap for any color for 1 life. Right?
Yeah,
I was just making sure. I didn't want to make a mistake.
I just was going to leave it out because it's boring text. They just remove all the abilities from the land. It's not going to be Cabal Coffers anymore. It's just trashy basic land or wastes, basically. So these ones, if you care about enchantments and you're going to get some actual payoff for casting enchantments or casting sorceries with Cleansing Wildfire, jam these in your deck all day.
A couple things I want to mention about all 3 of these cards really quickly. Cleansing Wildfire can be used on your own lands to get an extra landfall ability. That is great versatility. Spreading Seas, not really super versatility there, but if you have Island Walk, it does work with that. And Lithoform Blight is awesome because you can use it on your land. If you're missing a color, potentially fix yourself.
Well, it fixes for all 6 colors.
Yes,
because it also makes the wasteland.
Exactly. So I like the versatility of these cards helps a lot. Cleansing Wildfire also can fix you if you're missing a color.
All right, this next card, if you're paying 5 mana and a land is dying, this is probably where you want to be over stupid Slime Ball. It's Volcanic Offering, 4 in a red for an instant. Destroy target non-basic land you don't control, and target non-basic land of an opponent's choice you don't control. This deals 7 damage to target creature you don't control, and 7 damage to target creature of an opponent's choice you don't control.
This is cool because it answers probably the 2 best creatures on board that aren't yours, and the 2 best lands on board that aren't yours. It's really cool that there's also political value. If you want to be like, I'll destroy that land, and then you can pick an opponent to be like, all right, now please, I love Cabal Coffers. You want to not destroy that? Because I think you're going to destroy it.
Right, you kind of force them into the spot. The only time this is ever quote-unquote bad is 1v1, where you only get to destroy their best land and kill their best creature because they'll target the same ones, and it'll just only kill 2 things. That's really the only time I've ever seen it be not a 4-for-1 for you. Yeah. Everyone else just gets so much value from like, okay, yeah, I'll blow that up for free. Okay, kill their creature.
Yeah, it's kind of super interesting. I haven't played it too much. Again, it's more of a mono red card, Boros card.
Yeah, it's only because it's an instant. Instant makes it so much better than sorcery.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we have a Sassage Trophy. This card's great. A green and a black. Destroy target permanent. Its controller searches for a basic land, puts it on the battlefield. This card is it's a catch-all. It literally catches everything, and they get a basic in response. Sometimes you don't want to give them a basic, but when you're answering a land, they're not getting anything back. You're getting rid of that Cabal Coffers, and they're getting Swamp. You're going to feel real good about that.
Yeah, and it's only 2 mana, and it's an instant, so if you happen to use it on a land, yeah, it kind of feels like you're down a card, but you didn't spend tempo on it, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not going to feel bad. And again, the versatility on this card, it reminds me a lot of Beast Within and Generous Gift, where it's just like whatever is getting you, you get to get it. Sometimes, like you said, it won't feel the best because you're going to have to hit maybe you have to hit that like Sarah Ascendant and you got to ramp them early. It's like, but still, if you're playing other cards that just target lands, you don't get that choice.
Right. What would you rather do? Take 6 and they gain 6,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
feel a little bad?
Yeah, exactly. It might feel bad to play sometimes in those situations, but at least you were given the opportunity to play it in that situation.
Yeah, usually if there is that scenario where like you're begrudgingly playing something, it's because the card is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe you should just feel great that you can actually cast this card right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. It's like sometimes you're gonna kill, maybe like think what Beast Within, you might kill a 1/1, it becomes a 3/3. But at least you were given the opportunity to make that 1/1 into a 3/3.
You obviously had to do it or you wouldn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. All right, this next one, I don't even know. Like, I have this one as maybe because I've never tested it. I don't know. But it seems like it might be good enough.
It's Casualties of War. You get to destroy one of every permanent type, which is super cool.
Yeah, but it's 2 black, black, green, green. It's in a sorcery.
Yes.
That's what has me leaning away from it.
Again, the thing about this is it's stapled on for basically free.
The land part is.
Yeah, exactly. So it feels like this card in EDH should be playable without that part. So when you staple it on for free, it's going to feel way better. You get to get rid of a Planeswalker, but most importantly, the best enchantment, and the best creature all being gone.
Yeah, it's really a 4 for 1. So it's like a 3.5 for 1. Since the land isn't like really worth the card, it's like half the time it'll be a good land when you play it. Because the thing you want to do is probably kill the best creature, kill the best artifact, and then scoop up the rest as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know if I'm paying 6 mana for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a card that we need to probably test at some point. We just haven't.
We have it on we don't know. I don't think it's a trap. Let us know if you tested it and see how it's been for you. Next, 2, they're basically the same. We'll read them at once. Imprisoned in the Moon and Song of the Dryads. They can both enchant. Imprisoned in the Moon, artifact, creature, land, a Song of the Dryads, any permanent. They can say, all right, now this permanent that I'm enchanting is a land. It just can tap for mana. That's it. Song of the Dryads, these are both ones you don't want to put on lands, but if that's where you're at, you get to do this on a land and save your butt instead of losing.
Versatility. We mentioned that. You really need to have the versatility on these cards.
Most of the time, they're just going to take out the best threat, like 90%. Song of the Dryads, their commander, they cry forever. But sometimes you're going to get their Cabal Coffers and be glad you have Song of the Dryads over some removal spell.
Yeah, but you're saying it gets rid of the best threat. Sometimes that best threat is just Cabal Coffers.
Exactly. If it's on the field, it probably just is. I hate that card.
It often is.
Yeah, or Gaia's Cradle, or any of the other Sarah's Sanctum. Even like Valakut, Field of the Dead. There's so many good lands.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Traps. Which ones do we want to typically avoid / I'm not playing these unless I've got like hyper synergy going on.
Acidic Slime. I think I never feel the want to play this. I understand that basically you're taking like one of those removal spells and adding land to it. I think the 5 mana sorcery speed just not good enough for me.
Right. We get Rexage at 3, and we get other cards at 3 or 2 or maybe even 1 if you're like Caustic Caterpillaring. But like Blinkable, let's just compare it to Rexage. And there's others. I just don't want to pay 2 extra mana for text that doesn't matter, at least how I'm playing.
Yeah.
The Death Touch,
and
the 1 toughness.
I agree. That's how I feel about this card. I remember people love this card as a staple for most people, and we're not there. We haven't been there for a long time. I haven't put this in a deck in a while.
No, I think you can just cut it for anything else that hits artifact enchantments and play these no opportunity cost lands for starters, or toss in a Beast Within or a Song of the Dryads in your spot removal slot.
Yeah, Generous Gift. Hit that land with that. Next, I want to try this card only because I just want to see. I want to have it in the deck so I can see how often it's dead. I haven't had it any time recently.
I think it's dead a lot.
I know that's what I'm saying, but I want to have it in my hand once in a while and be like, okay.
You want to feel miserable?
No, I want to see this card be bad because
you actually want to feel miserable. You want to see it be bad.
Oh, I want more. It's more of a test. Decimate, which is 2 green, red, destroy an artifact, enchantment, creature, and land. You've got to hit 4. Land always exists. Creature always exists. Artifact almost always exists. There has to be an enchantment out, and there's not always an enchantment.
It says you have to have 4 targets, or you can't cast it.
So I'm interested. I actually am interested in going back and maybe trying this, because it's just. I don't know. I had it in a deck before, but also that deck was a Maelstrom under deck, so obviously cascading into it is worse.
Yeah, when you just can't even control.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's dead and when it's not.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, I'm just listing it because I saw it in a precon, and I hate this card.
It's also besides that, it's played in EDH for like a decent amount.
Oh, wow. Encroaching Wastes land, produced colorless mana. 4 tap sack, destroy a non-basic land.
It's your whole turn.
No. Did you see the other 4 that do it for 1 or 0? We just don't need to do this. No. I mean, maybe it's an accessibility thing.
Too much.
Ghost Quarter's pretty darn accessible. It's like $1.
Way too high of a cost. No. This is what opportunity cost. What if you have to spend a whole turn to answer a land?
Or half a turn. I mean, what's Ghost Quarter, like 5% of a turn?
Not even. It's you're basically Ghost Quarter says you miss your land drop for a turn.
Yeah, it's really like that might be 5% of a turn. I don't know. It affects no spells you play that turn, but Encroaching Waste is really 5 mana.
Yeah. Next, this is a stand-in for all versions of this. It's Stone Rain, which is just a 3 mana or sorcery, destroy target land. There's a million versions of this. There's Stone Rain, there's Molten, whatever, Blast.
Pillage, Sinkhole, there's just infinite. Yeah, so these, first of all, they're all sorceries. Demolish, like the Scry 2 type crap that's in every standard set for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't play them. They're not versatile, and they're not even fast enough. You could literally have Stone Rain and be like, all right, I'm ready for any land. And then they play a land and they use it. You fall behind, and you're like, oh, no, I don't want to Stone Rain it.
Yeah, I think Stone Rain is unplayable in EDH. I never want it, even if I'm in some sort of Spellslinger's deck where I want instant sorceries. Just not interested here.
So Vindicate, we've met this. It's like the Nitpicking or Tall Shame at this point. We just don't play Vindicate anymore. The sorcery speed does not make up for the versatility when there's 10 better cards you can play.
Yeah, exactly. I think my card I love to compare to this is you go right to Anguish Unmaking.
Yep.
You take the land off of it, you make an instant speed. Card is so much better. I would rather play Utter End, and I think Utter End is on.
I don't play Utter End anymore.
Yeah, I don't play Utter End either, but I'd rather, if I'm looking for another removal spell in those cards, I'm doing that. You look elsewhere again for your land removal. Don't look into Vindicate. Just again, the low opportunity on all the other cards we listed is insane.
Yes. Avalanche Riders is next. It's 3 and a red for a 2/2 haste. It has Echo, so you got to pay its mana cost or sacrifice it next turn. Destroy a non-basic when it enters. You got to be Flicker City for this to work.
Yeah, the problem is you have to echo it. This card I think is okay if you don't have to echo it. But then again, at this point, if I'm doing that, this is what really takes me off this card. Avalanche Rider at 4 mana.
Yep.
To get only land is like, well, why don't I pay 1 more for Acidic Slime? And then I'm like, well, why don't I just pay 2 less to get? That's how I really think about it, and it gets to that point where it's like, is Acidic Slime that has haste and echo? No, card's not good.
Yeah, that's right. It is awkward. If you're trying to recur it from your graveyard, it's 4 mana. So how often can you repeat that? If you're trying to flicker it, you're gonna have to get around echo, and it's a red card.
Yes, I agree completely.
It's really awkward. It looks like it's on Fulminator levels, but it really isn't.
Yeah, 3 mana is where you want to be for the Fulminator type effect. If you can
I mean, if Fulminator was when it enters, destroy a land, it's still better than this because you don't have the weird echo thing, and you're already in black, and it's like, this is bizarre.
Well, what I was saying was, I think 3 mana is where you're going to want to be. If there's a creature that destroys a land, 3 mana is going to be about what you want for it.
Well, I'm just saying, Avalanche Riders is much better if it doesn't have echo. That means you can flicker it.
Yeah,
but you're only kidding lands.
That's true. I don't even know how playable is without echo. Again, like you just do that thought process of
it's like one less than slime.
Yeah, it's 1 less than slime. Like legitimately, that feels slime feels a million times better. And then I'm like, I don't like slime. So wait, yeah. if slime is a million times better than this card must not be good.
Right. All right. So then we have I relisted these creeping mold, like destroy a non-creature permanent. There's like Bramble Crush, I think is the other one. 2 green sorceries. We stay away from those at all costs. They just are not good enough. If you blow up the best artifact in the play for 4 mana at sorcery speed, you killed the best thing in play, and you still won't feel good.
Yeah, the problem with a lot of these cards is we're looking like legitimately. What did we list? We listed about 15 cards, and after those 15 cards, there's almost nothing.
It drops off.
It drops off super hard, and there might be like 1 or 2 that we missed.
And you don't need 8 land destruction spells in your deck.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need a lot. And we put it, that's every color. We covered every single color for those, and you only need 1, 2, maybe 3 usually.
Some of them are staples. Some of them are catch-alls. Most of them are budget.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one is just Mongolia, Acid Moss. It destroys a land and gets you a forest onto the battlefield.
I think this falls into the same, it's almost like extra. They like entice you, like, come play this 2 slow removal. You'll get a land out of it. It's like, I don't think that's worth it. I'm not trying to play a ramp land destruction hybrid.
Exactly.
It's like bad land destruction, bad ramp. So just forget about it.
Yeah. So the final note, like we said, you don't need a ton of these in your deck. So I think after the ones we listed as our favorites, there's not many more. Do we miss something? Of course, we're not perfect. There's probably 1 or 2 out there that we didn't hit, but there's probably literally 1 or 2 more you can add on there, and then there's nothing because you only need a certain amount. The fact is, Strip Mine can go in almost any deck, and that's where
Strip Mine, Dust Bowl, Ghost Quarter, Tectonic Edge, and whatever Wasteland.
The lands can go in almost any deck.
And we've listed white. There's Generous Gift. Blue, you have Spreading Seas. Black, you have Lithoform Blight. Red, you have there's Geomancer's Gambit we didn't mention, and Cleansing Wildfire. They're the same card, and Beast Within. So in green.
Yep.
So, well, how do you feel about Geomancer's Gambit? It's just Wildfire, but it's 1 more. I'd say only with synergy because it's 3 in a cantrips. If you can like reduce the cost of it, if you're like that kind of deck, maybe.
I don't think
Wildfire is just so much better.
You're just not going to need it. Yeah, exactly. You have Wildfire. And there's just every color has the spells in. If you can afford the land slot, you can afford a colorless land, you get one of those lands. That's the thing. So you start at the land slot, you want 1 or 2 more, you go to the spell slot, and you realize you don't have to dig that deep. You don't have to dig Acidic Slime. And that's the reason. I think that's something that maybe we understated in the past. This is why you don't have to dig to Acidic Slime. You answering a land, you can get so much easier in so many other places at a much lower opportunity cost.
And that's all you need to say. I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done. That's our video. Special shout outs to all of our patrons. We do all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable.
Never.
Because we're awesome and we don't like making anyone uncomfortable. You guys are the poopy babies. Thank you all for your support. Every time I see us get a new patron, I smile because I am glad that another person cares enough about this channel and how we're doing to support us monetarily. Thank you.
1 step closer to doing this full time and like taking our production level now and just supercharging it. It'll be very noticeable when we go like ultimate full time.
Yeah.
This isn't even our final form, is what we're saying.
Yeah, this isn't even our final form. If you want to support us and you love buying cards in TCG Player, use the link in the description below. That link takes you to TCG Player. It'll take you to whatever we link you to. But you don't need to buy that. You can buy anything as long as you went through the link. TCG Player knows.
They know.
They know. And they will give us a kickback, and we'll say thank you to all of you because all of you have been helping us a ton.
It's the same thing. Helps us get that much closer, pay the fees, jump through the hoops, do what we need to do, get this to be like an actual off the ground business. We're trying to get all our stupid tax stuff together.
Oh, God.
It's miserable. We hired lawyers.
You know what? Tidbit about our life. Hop into that.
Yeah.
One thing that like, it's literally adulting. I hate taxes. I hate like
it's so stuffy.
I hate legal nonsense we're going through. We got to turn this into an LLC to do taxes.
Get a tax ID and an EIN, and we paid the retainer, and it's gonna take like 10 weeks. Like, oh my God.
So nobody sue us until then.
Yeah, if you don't, please just refrain from suing us. I don't know if we've given you grounds. Disclaimer guy has our back. Pretty hard.
Until we're an LLC, just refrain from suing us. You could sue the Nitpicking Nerds later.
Yeah, the corporation.
Yeah, the LLC.
Don't sue Joe Cherries and Beezy.
Yeah, please don't.
We haven't done anything.
Yeah, we didn't do anything. We definitely haven't promised you anything we couldn't deliver.
We covered it all. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Disclaimer guy always has our back.
He'll be back soon.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe we roughed him up a bit and he couldn't come back.
What if they sue us because they think we beat up somebody?
They think we beat up Disclaimer guy, a fictional character.
All right.
Who is actually a Spanish model.
He is a Spanish model, but he's super Italian.
Yeah.
Don't peel back the curtain too far.
Yeah, peeling back the curtain. Disclaimer guy is a Spanish model. If you can find him. If anyone can get his agent to talk to us, we'll gladly interview him for the show.
I know there's a lot of big celebrities out there, but the guy who is Disclaimer guy without knowing it, #1 on my priorities for Chance for Glory guests.
If we can get the guy who is Disclaimer guy to like be the intro guy for Chance for Glory,
or sign a photo and we can like put it up there.
Oh, that sounds good. Ooh, something that we have for the wall, and I don't know where we're gonna put it yet because I'm not sure about space. But Angle is sending me the Keldheim like metal poster.
Oh,
it is super cool.
Well, that's coming up. Our friend of the show, Angle of Reason.
Yeah, it's got thanks, Angle. We have it on she's sending it in the mail. It's super cool looking. Like it's got Kaya on it, and it's just like it's got like the metal style of like the metal cards.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah. This is rambling.
yeah, this is the end of our video. This is how the end of our videos go. If you haven't stuck around till now, you now know how much we ramble.
You've missed this for every video.
Yeah,
you better go back.
We do this often. Yes. Peace out, Tribe Scout. Ooh.
Finger guns.